Makeup is like nuts. Why is it do we have asymmetrical faces? That's what drives me crazy in life. Would be asymmetrical anything. I'm gonna crack open my wine. We're gonna get into it today. Oh, thank God this is not carbonated. Otherwise, I would have been covered. Um, First up, my sponsor, NeuroGum. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to their website because I do want to definitely talk about them. I have been using NeuroGum. They sent me a crap load of NeuroGum, and this stuff is really good. It's not bitter. I go after those caffeinated products that don't have that nasty, bitter aftertaste. This doesn't. It also has no sodium, no carbohydrates, 1 gram of sugar alcohol. So if anybody has a tummy that maybe gets upset very often, Crohn's disease, colitis, any of that kind of stuff, you really want to watch your sugar alcohols because that can just send your stomach into like overload. So this has very, very low sugar alcohols. And I definitely want to take a look at how much caffeine is in this product that is also supplemented with B vitamins. And it looks like it's a full cup of coffee. So really, really nice, clean flavors. And we're going to go ahead and take a look right now. Everybody, today's show is going to be super fun. Hello, Cyrus. It's 2020. It's okay to put an alien wearing a Santa hat on top of the tree this year. It's okay to put just about anything on a Christmas tree this year. Let me tell you a funny story while I'm sharing my screen. So when I was a kid, mom had these boxes of Christmas ornaments and it was really kind of cool. You got to reminisce and see some of the different ornaments of years past. And there was this one ornament that would always come out of the box and I would confuse me, quite honestly. So it was something my brother had made when he was young. And my brother's about 10 years older than me. So he definitely was nowhere near the age anymore once I was old enough to question it as to what it was. When he was in preschool, he decided to make my mother a Christmas ornament and he had a cold. So he blew his nose into a tissue, glued a little face onto it, and gave it to her. And she kept it. Oh, she kept it. And it goes on the tree every year. That's the most disgusting story. True story. Honest to God, true story. There is a 50-year-old tissue used tissue hanging on my mother's tree. That's why we call him her only begotten son. All right. So to really fully look at NeuroGum, it's congratulating me. That is wonderful. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Refresh your state of mind. Functional gum and mints. I did forget to mention that. They do have mints with caffeine that is so smooth. It's so nice. Such a clean product. And I want to hit the about. Let's take a look at their story because this is our sponsor for today's show. We've always believed in the best version of ourselves starts with the mind. That's why we dedicated the past 5 years to creating great tasting products, and they surely do. This one is Enlightenment that I have a full box of between the gum and the mints. I pop one piece of gum in my mouth and go for a very quick run. And it's always nice and refreshing. So thank you to today's sponsor, Neuro Mint. You can go to Get Neuro, N-E-U, N-E-U-R-O, getneuro.com, or on Amazon. You can also find this product. You can find this product at many other stores, such as Whole Foods or CVS. So go out there, go find it. It's great. All right, guys, let's get into the show today. First, a cheers to a long week. Really long. I don't know how many times, we're going to take a sip, that my kids told on each other this week. I'm like, guys, Santa, like, he's listening. They don't care. They're savages. They don't care. Crappy wine, but sometimes you just gotta go do it. My hair won't do anything. All right, let's get into it. So, guys, Christmas lights, right? You know what? Let's watch a story first. We're gonna watch one of these great stories that I pulled up that I researched and thought, you know what? We need to see this. This is a Nightline news report on those wonderful Christmas displays. So we're going to start with the good. We're going to start with the amazing, right? So let's take a look at the amazing. And then we're going to take a look at what I have for you. All right, here we go.
Silent night? Maybe if there's a power outage. And that seems to be a distinct possibility. In the great Christmas light fight, it's no longer about individual McMansions.
You already know who it is!
Like this one in El Paso, Texas, doing a Yuletide whip and nay-nay.
Now watch me whip. Now watch me nay-nay. Okay. Now watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay.
This year, they're decking the halls of entire neighborhoods. Like this one in Celebration, Florida. 11 houses synced up here to Michael Bublé. Complete with holographic Santas, Mrs. Claus there in the window in high definition, trampolines turned into projection screens.
We had to get our cars in at Christmas time, so actually we elevated it 7 feet in the air, so the display itself becomes about a 25-foot screen.
Nothing says Christmas like a tongue of fire. Keep in mind, this is a Florida winter, 70-degree heat, 45% humidity, but even here, a 100% chance of a white Christmas.
It's a swarm. Whenever the machine goes off, there's a swarm from all around.
Adults too, they'll come from across the street and run to get into the snow.
Celebration is one of 3 different neighborhoods being featured Monday on ABC's 3rd annual Christmas Lights reality show.
Of course, we think we have the best one.
Well, I think everybody thinks they have the best one. Yeah, that's good.
3 neighborhoods competing for $50,000 in prize money. In addition to Celebration, there's also Waipahu, Hawaii.
We're the best! We know we got the best light show in the nation!
And Gilbert, Arizona.
That is crazy!
Suddenly, it's not so surprising to learn that Americans really will spend $7 billion this year on Christmas decorations. Putting together just one high-tech house can be a year-long ordeal.
Those soldiers, those were brought in here by a crane.
Year-long? Who could take this?
What?
Yeah.
Lucy Spada in Brooklyn looks forward to this all year long.
To me, I like my whole house filled up. I don't like to see a space.
And she's not alone.
That's right.
Just ask Keith Shaw of Cranberry, New Jersey.
Lots of extension cords.
Lots of extension cords, yep.
He has the biggest
No.
Christmas tree.
No. All right, I can't take anymore. I will tell you another story as to why I can't take anymore. That's not more extension cords. That's multiple panels that you have to put in for that house. Like you're going out to the street and you're putting in a whole new panel just for your Christmas lights. So anyway, sorry, I got worked up there. And I'll tell you why I get worked up over that. Looking for something. It did not ask me to stop sharing my screen. Sometimes that'll slow me down. I don't want you to be reading like, old Japanese fighting film lips that don't sync up the words. So anyway, my house was one of those houses. I am on YouTube. It's not my house anymore. But yeah, it definitely had its own radio station. Anybody who's watching, who's local, they know this happened. We maxed it out all the way out to the point to where the next step was to go ahead and put in another panel. That takes a lot of electricity, even with the LED stuff, quite honestly. So anyway, so that was the exceptionally good. Those were the people that are competing for $10,000. That doesn't even scratch the surface as far as how much money they've invested into that freak show. So let's go ahead. Oh, here it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I find to be the best, really, truly the worst Christmas house decorations. First up, and there's videos of this guy, Santa whizzing off of the roof, right? That's all that they had. You can see they have like a little Christmas tree. Not sure if it's indoor or outdoor. In the background, there's a wreath. The roof is lined, and Santa's whizzing off the roof. You can go onto YouTube and find the live video if you're really so inclined and so absolutely interested to see the whiz. Like it kind of it tinkles. It tinkles down in lights. It's great. Next up, yeah, Florida. Florida. I thought this was like just a one house deal. I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, that's graphic for Christmas. And then I saw this. Oh, crap. I didn't see that. Where's my next picture? Let me pull up the next picture while we talk about that. I just, I figured, here it is. Next picture hits me, and I'm like, number one reason for why you should never decorate a palm tree in lights. Phallic as hell. All right, let's go back to the one that I pulled up that I didn't mean to pull up. Here's, our little Florida man house, A+ for phallic shock and awe at the Christmas times. This, clever. I'll give him clever. You obviously have a very low ceiling roof type house, and you decide to just extend the tree like it looks like it's peeking through the roof, only in Florida. No kidding. Kidding. All right, next up, there was the proof that they actually do decorate palm trees. That should never happen. Not unless you're like an adult store that's sponsoring that. But even that's just totally not appropriate. Do I need to say anything about this? I figured, let me take a swig. Friday night, right? Friday night somewhere. I figured this was just a one-time horrible find that I found on the interwebs. And it was what it was. It was a hunter that thought he was being funny. It's not funny. It's horrific. All those PETA people out there that see this will be like, oh my God, down with Cooper. But it's not the only one. Like, this is a trend. And I don't have all the trending pictures, but just type it into your Googles. It is a trend of deer bloodletting Christmas lights. Next, this I like. I'm not into the electrified house of all those houses that we just saw that are competing for the $10,000, which might pay their electricity bill for the month of December, and that's about it. I like this. Like, that's creative. The Grinch, what do you have invested? You got one Grinch, 2-3 strands of lights, maybe. I'm all in. Yeah, that's A+. This is creative. Oops. Now, do you remember, and I really can't remember if this was making international news last year or if it was just my local news, but somebody actually took a real, dummy. And of course, yes, this is cute where the guy is upside down. He fell into the bush. And we've seen, I did not grab the pictures because we've seen again and again, where the guy is hanging onto the gutter, like he was hanging the lights and then fell. Well, somebody had done it so realistically that the police were constantly called out to this one house. And I don't know if you just have really stupid neighbors that keep falling for it or what happened in that neighborhood, but the police were repetitively called out to where they had to take it down because it looks so realistic that some guy was hanging off the roof. So, it's cute. Oops. It's cute. You're out there. You're like, yeah, let's get those lights. Let's do all the bushes. Let's get into that. And then you're like, I'm hungry. You want lunch? Yeah. What do we have? We're done. Blow-ups. Not a fan of blow-ups. I am not. I've got to say, I believe in baby Jesus. I really do. I have respect for baby Jesus and his birthday and all that. I am not a fan of Christmas decorating. That's where my Jewish side comes out and takes over and says, can we just put up one candle? Just one, just in the corner, just a candle. And we're good. We're good. That's what goes through my head every time, even while I'm standing there decorating my own tree. I'm like, this would be so much easier if it was just a couple of candles. I just, ugh. So blow ups, I really don't like. How many times has a city come out to this person's house and been like, you got to back it up. You're too close to the sidewalk. Back it up. I, I mean, they must have purchased everything. Let's take a real look at this. They really, truly must have purchased everything on the market. They've got the reindeer that says joy. They have the little, walk through thing with Santa on each. It's like a guardhouse thing. They've got nutcrackers. They have SpongeBob. They got everybody. I just and somewhere in Colorado, how did that go? Was it like, yeah, man, why don't we decorate? And like that pothead head move, the head move when, not that I know from experience, but that head move when you're really, really stoned and your head like goes without you and then you bring it back like nobody saw that. Yeah, man. Let's decorate. Let's get every color. Oh, every color they have, and we'll decorate. And this is what happened. It just throw it here, throw it there, and that's so cool. Like, that's what happened. 4 hours of staring at one bulb. That is exactly. I mean, you can see somebody like tried to go up to the roof, and what they do? Did they fall? Like, I'm not too sure what's happening here, but I'm pretty sure that can be found somewhere in Colorado. And I believe, yep, back to Wiz and Santa. That is all that I have for the very best. And the reason why I put this up here is because obviously people are really, really itching to get this year over with. My neighborhood, half of it is already decorated for Christmas. Yes, I know I'm in the South. In the South, we do weird stuff. Okay. Like, the majority of people, especially if you're from the South, you will have your Christmas tree up before, much less during, before Thanksgiving dinner. You will have the tree up for Thanksgiving dinner. That is very, very normal. Having your whole house decorated for Christmas, I really, truly don't ever remember the quantity of houses where people, for 2 weeks now, people have had their Christmas trees up, their yard is decorated. I think you're going to be pretty sick of Christmas by the time it comes around, don't you think? And speaking of Christmas, since that was kind of a short part of the show, because I really didn't find too many where I'm like, oh, that's so messed up. I caught myself. We can obviously no longer say that word, but you know what I mean? So, so I found a couple of things. These are things that are on some websites that actually appear on multiple websites of things that should be canceled. This is number one, and I disagree. I'm back to but can I just have my one candle? Like just one candle and Merry Christmas. The back to that theory, this solves it for me. This is a whole house lighting, right? You stick it in the ground, you plug it in. Ooh, it's snowflakes on your house. I'm perfect. I don't think that should be canceled. But apparently, yes, it's number one thing that should be canceled, along with many other things I thought were really odd that are just kind of normal. This, not normal, never heard of it. Beer-centric decorations? Who has beer-centric decorations? I've heard of Santas, somebody like Santa, somebody like snowmen, and you just have all snowmen hanging around. Nativities, you just have nativities hanging around everywhere. I've heard of that, but beer-centric, no. So apparently that's number 7 on the list of being canceled. Tinsel trees. Again, I don't really care. I mean, whatever kind of tree you want to cut down, bring it in, whatever. Use it for do something with it afterwards. You get a tinsel tree, save the earth with a fake tree. Like, I don't care. So tinsel tree, that was one of the things to be canceled. This is the final thing that I truly thought, okay, these 4 things, if we did without, we could do without. Even though number 1, like I said, I really liked. I thought that's simple. You decorate the house. Ooh, kids, and you're done. This is the last thing on the list to be canceled. Christmas themed bathroom accessories. Yes, I agree. That shit's creepy. Okay. And if you actually don't have a long toilet, because most of us, especially in houses that have been built 20 years ago or earlier, they don't have these little round toilets anymore. And you can't find elongated toilet covers. So, like the fuzzy carpet covers. And where did they ever come from? Like, was that the whole shag carpet world that said, oh, when I sit on the toilet, who the hell sits on the toilet? I digress. This is canceled also. And coming up to next week's Weird and Wacky News, and this one's going to be good. This one might actually be a long one. Let's say hello to everybody before I spill the beans. Toilet cover, that's just sick. Yeah, you know what I've seen? Oh my God, Ken, I've seen like a toilet seat cover. They knitted it. It's a thing on Etsy. They knitted the seat cover, so like where your butt plants down on the toilet, you're sitting on knitting. And I'm like, oh, that's a little gross, don't you think? I mean, how many of those would you have to buy? Because you're constantly washing them in bleach. And then how long does a knitted product last after I sanitize it every day in bleach? I don't know. It is good to see you, Ken. It is good to see you. Beer decorations. He's a fan. He does not want the beer decorations to be canceled, and that's perfectly fine. We'll keep them, Cyrus. It's good to see you, Cyrus. It's good to see you, Ralph and Bob and everybody else. Ooh, Bob, there he is. Hello, hello. It's great to see you. Yeah, seriously, Ken, that is a thing. Go search it on Etsy. I'd never lie to you. I promise, darling. All right, so up next week, Elf. Let's have some elfin fun. Yeah. Oh, I've done some great things with the elves. I mean, we took saran wrap, or shall I say, the elves did some great things in my house. They took the saran wrap and they covered the toilet and then put the seat down and made it into an ice skating rink with powdered sugar everywhere like it had snowed. That was a lot of fun. They've done all types of things. Each child in my house actually has not an elf on the shelf, but they have a little elf. And it all started with a school teacher. The school teachers had a room mom that decided to send each kid home with an elf. Well, what happens when you have a house full of kids? Not just that one kid can have an elf who made havoc for 2 weeks in the classroom because we have an overzealous room mom, can they? No, they've got to come home and keep being active or they're dead. So it couldn't have died. So each child has an elf, and then we have an elf on the shelf. And I swear, I think if in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, when I was growing up, really, I wasn't growing up in the early 90s. I guess I was a teenager, so maybe so. If this was existing, there would have been a lot more drinking. Because I'm sorry, but they didn't care about crap like that. They really didn't. We were still hustling and working to try to put stuff together. And if you were privileged enough, you were out there buying ponies and boats and going to France. Like, you weren't screwing around with an elf. So anyway, now we're all messing around with these elves. And like I was just saying, hey, Chris, good to see you. Like I was just saying, next week's show is going to be elfin fun. All the fun, havoc things that elves have done. There was one year where my oldest daughter was old enough to really, really know. I mean, she was 16, 17, something like that. And she had come to me and she said, can I do the elves tonight? And, I said, okay, that's fine. Sure, you can do the elves. So she's the oldest of all 5 of my kids. So there were 4 younger ones. And the youngest at the time, let me recount. The youngest, I think, was about 4 or 5. I woke up the next morning, and I think I have pictures. I need to see if I can find them. To Barbie on a stripper pole with elves with little tiny money and whiskey bottles, and she made a strip club of elves. So anyway, she doesn't do that anymore because we just had to explain that they were at a party and we didn't know, maybe they were trying to build a North Pole or something. We don't know what the poles were. So anyway, that's what next week's going to be. It's going to be so fun because so many people are very, very creative. If you have the app called Pinterest, go ahead and look it up. Elf on the Shelf. It's really hysterical what so many people come up with. And, you know, if you are that perfect family of 2 little kids, God bless you, because you have all that energy to do it. And I copy your crap left and right. I love it. So keep posting. Everybody keep watching. I absolutely love you. I love all of you. And oh, wow, where'd she get that from? You know, kids are always, always listening and they're always, always watching. So no matter what they're consuming through TV, through streaming media, from friends, or possibly from your own household, you never know what's going to come out of their mouth now, do you? So I personally don't know exactly where she got the whole stripper theme from. She's got my sick and twisted, dark and demented sense of humor. You know, that's probably where it came from. All right, everybody. I truly love you. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will see you the day after Thanksgiving. And I hope you are safe. I hope you have a wonderful time. In my opinion, go gather. You know, I mean, go gather. Have a good time. Be safe. Be reasonable. Be practical about it. And I just absolutely love you. So as always, we are blessed. Ugh, you are blessed. Mwah! I love you. I truly love all of you. So have a wonderful evening. Drink it up with me. Jim, it is good to see you. I see some of you coming on. Please rewind it and watch it. It was a good show. It's very, very funny as to what I saw in Christmas house decorations, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, everybody, have a great night.